New Moon, the second book in the Twilight Saga. Now, Nerimon, one of my favourite YouTubers, actually did a series where he read Twilight. He read a chapter of Twilight every video that he did. I have, however, seen the movie of New Moon, and I sort of know what it's about. So I'm starting off with a little bit more knowledge than what Nerimon started off with. Started reading Twilight. He didn't know anything about it at the point. But since he doesn't want to read New Moon, he's decided not to. I'm deciding to do that for you because so many people wanted Nerimon to read New Moon. So I'm going to do it. I know that I'm not Nerimon, but I'm going to do it anyway. The preface. I felt like I was trapped in one of those terrifying nightmares, the one where you have to run till your lungs burst, but you can't make your body move fast enough. My legs seemed to move slower and slower as I fought my way through the callous crowd, but the hands of a huge clock tower didn't slow. With relentless, uncaring force, they turned inexorably, wow, she uses some really big words, toward the end of everything. See, now that's what I don't like about Bella Swan. Every little itty-bitty problem is apocalyptic to her. Chapter 1, Party. Here's where it begins. I'll read this chapter, and then we'll have to wait for chapter 2 in the next video. I was 99.9% sure I was dreaming. What, not 100%? Seems kind of obvious if you were dreaming that you'd be asleep. The reasons I was so certain were that, first, I was standing in a bright shaft of sunlight, the kind of blinding clear sun that Nova shone on my drizzly new hometown of Forks, and second, I was looking at my Grandma Marie. Gran had been dead for 6 years now, so that was solid evidence towards the dream theory. Gran hadn't changed much. She's dead, why would she? Oh my god. Her face looked just the same as I remembered it. The skin was soft and withered, bent into 1,000 tiny creases. Oh gee, that's nice. Hey Gran, your skin's wrinkly. My god. Tiny creases that clung gently to the bone underneath. Like a dried apricot. Oh, now your Gran's a dried apricot. That's great. But with a puff of thick white hair standing out in a cloud around it. Oh, now she's a mouldy dried apricot. Wonderful. I was about to ask her a question. I had so many. What was she doing here in my dream? What has she been up to in the past 6 years? Oh, not a lot, darling. Just sitting in a box 6 feet under. Was Pop okay? And had they found each other, whatever they were? They're dead. It wasn't Gran who called my name, and we both turned to see the addition to our small reunion. I didn't have to look to know who it was. This was a voice I would know anywhere. Know and respond to, whether I was awake or asleep, or even dead. I bet a voice I'd walk through fire for, or, less dramatically, slosh every day through the cold and endless rain for. Edward. Less dramatically. Everything is dramatic with you, Bella. Less dramatically. Sheer cheek of it. Only then, as I looked at the bigger picture, did I notice the huge gilt frame that enclosed my grandmother's form. Uncomprehendingly, what a big word, Stephanie. I raised the hand that wasn't wrapped around Edward's waist and reached out to touch her. She mimicked the motion exactly, mirrored it. But where our fingers should have met, there was nothing but cold glass. With a drizzly jolt, my dream abruptly became a nightmare. There was no Gran. That was me. Me in a mirror. Me, ancient, creased, and withered. Edward stood beside me, casting no reflection. Excruciatingly lovely and forever 17. He's not legal. I'm technically older than Edward Cullen. 18. Woo. He pressed his icy, perfect lips against my wasted cheek. "Happy birthday," he whispered. Oh, how much more of this chapter do I have to go? Oh god! Summarising isn't help. I can't summarise. I'm useless at summarising. I guess I'm gonna have to read it. I woke with a start, my eyelids popping open wide, and gasped. Dull great light, the familiar light of an overcast morning, took the place of a blinding sun in my dream. Only a dream, but prophetic. And pathetic. Prophecy, if you don't know what that means. It was like a prophecy. That's what she thought of it. Alright. When I went to brush my teeth, I was almost surprised that the face in the mirror hadn't changed. Is she serious? I stared at myself, looking for some sign of impending wrinkles in my ivory skin. Oh, I've spent 20 minutes reading this book already. What time will you be at the house? Alice continued, changing the subject from her expression. She was up to exactly the kind of thing I'd been hoping to avoid. I didn't know I had plans to be there. Oh, be fair, Bella, she complained. You aren't going to ruin all the fun like that, are you? I thought my birthday was about what I want. I'll get her from Charlie's right after school, Edward told her. They're ignoring me altogether. I'm gonna skip the rest of that page. I think they're in class watching the Romeo and Juliet, and this is where they're speaking and talking. Blah, 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 blah. I really don't want to read this anymore. They're in the house now, talking about the Volturi. Carlisle lived with the Volturi briefly in his early years in Italy before he settled in America. Do you remember the story? Of course I remember. She said that. I didn't even know who's talking at the moment. I would never forget the first time I'd gone to his home, the huge white mansion buried deep in the forest beside the river, or the room where Carlisle, Edward's father in so many real ways, kept a wall of paintings that illustrated his personal history. Of course, I remembered the calm quartet of men, which each with the exquisite face of a whatever the hell that is, a seraph? I don't know. Painted into the highest balcony overlooking the swirling mayhem of colour, blah, 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 blah. Oh, God. Oh, goodness me. Stephanie Meyer, can you write more boringly? She just goes on and on and on and on and on about one thing. Get to the good parts. When does Bella die? God. Oh my god. I'm looking at my clock now. It's 34 minutes of agony. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, he's picking her up from Charlie's. Okay, somewhere here he's going, yep, Bella's saying, you know what I want for my birthday? He says, not tonight, Bella, please. Well, she says, well, maybe Alice will give me what I want. Edward growled in a deep, menacing sound. Ooh, scary. What the hell's he gonna do? Sparkle you to death? Oh, God. Edward's parents, Carlisle. Charlie is so cool, I call him Carly. I'm gonna call him Carly, it sounds much more fun. Carly and Esme. That's how it's spelt. Esme. Impossibly youthful and lovely as ever, were the closest to the door. Esme hugged me carefully, her soft caramel-coloured hair brushing against her. Now we don't even have normal colours. Caramel is not a colour, it's a flavour. Brushing against my cheek as she kissed my forehead. And then Carly put his arms around my shoulders. Sorry about this, Bella, he stage whispered. We couldn't rein Alice in. Now he's calling Alice a horse. Definitely different from the movie. Kind of like the movie better, it doesn't trail on and on and on, it sort of gets on with it. See, directors are clever. They know people would get bored if we went through all of this crap. 42 minutes, oh my god. I'm gonna skip some more. Open mine and Edward's next, Alice said, so excited her voice was a high-pitched trill. I took the little package, rolling my eyes at Edward while I stuck my finger under the edge of the paper and jerked it under the tape. Shoot, I muttered while the paper sliced my finger. Here! Oh my god, it's the last page! chapter! Oh, this is exciting now. It's taken me 44 minutes to read 26 pages. I pulled it out to examine the damage. A single drop of blood oozed from my tiny cut. It all happened very quickly then. No! Edward roared. He threw himself at me, flinging me back across the table. It fell as I did, shattering the cake and the presents, the flowers and the plates. I landed in a mess of shattered crystal. Jasper slammed into Edward, and the sound was like the crash of boulders in a rock slide. Emmett grabbed Jasper from behind in the next second, locking him into his massive steel grip. But Jasper struggled on, his wild, empty eyes focused only on me. Beyond his shock there was also pain. I'd tumbled down to the floor by the piano, with my arms thrown out instinctively to catch my fall, into the jagged shards of glass. I thought we'd already been through that. I thought she already did that. What is it her? Only now did I feel the searing, stinging pain that ran from my wrist to the crease inside my elbow. I looked up from the bright red blood pulsing out of my arm into the fevered eyes of the 6 suddenly ravenous vampires. Oh God, I hope they eat her. But I know that they don't. Well, that's the end of chapter 1. What an awful, droning chapter. I'm not looking forward to chapter 2, but I know you Twilight's really like these books, and I'm happy to keep going if you're happy to keep watching. If you're awake, then you're obviously not dreaming. What is it her?